Before we start, make sure to subscribe, like, share, and comment, because today's story will take you on an emotional flight you'll never forget. The hum of the engines was steady, like a heartbeat in the clouds. Flight 276 from Los Angeles to New York was halfway through its journey when something completely unexpected happened. In row 10, seat B, a young woman slept with her head resting against the window, unaware that in just a few minutes, her past would come roaring back to life. The intercom crackled. "Ladies and gentlemen," the captain's voice trembled slightly, "if there is any combat pilot or someone with military flight experience on board, please, come forward immediately." Gasps spread across the cabin. A mother held her child closer. An elderly man muttered a prayer. The flight attendants exchanged nervous glances, their smiles suddenly stiff. Row 10 stirred. The woman, brown hair tied in a neat bun, wearing a gray hoodie and faded jeans, blinked awake. Her name was Captain Sarah Doyle, a 29-year-old former Air Force combat pilot who had walked away from everything 2 years ago after losing her co-pilot, and her best friend, in a mission that went wrong. She rubbed her eyes, thinking she must have heard wrong. But then the captain's voice came again, louder this time. "This is not a drill. We have an emergency." Passengers began murmuring. Someone cried softly. Sarah's heartbeat quickened. Her chest tightened with a familiar ache, the one she had tried to bury with silence and sleep for 2 long years. She stood up. The aisle felt like it stretched for miles. Her palms were sweaty, her legs shaky. "I think I might be who they're looking for," she whispered to the flight attendant, who looked at her with desperate hope. "Follow me," the attendant said. As Sarah walked toward the cockpit, passengers watched her with wide eyes, not knowing that the sleepy woman from row 10 had once flown fighter jets across hostile skies. When the door opened, the captain, a man in his late 40s, face pale, turned and exhaled in relief. "We lost one of our engines. The autopilot's malfunctioning, and my co-pilot's passed out from low oxygen. I need help keeping this bird steady until we can attempt an emergency landing." Sarah's eyes widened. "How bad is it?" "We've got about 20 minutes of flight stability if we're lucky." She nodded once, calm but fierce. That calmness only came from someone who had seen chaos and survived it. "I'll take the right seat." The captain hesitated. "You sure you can?" She cut him off. "Sir, I've landed a jet with one wing half gone. Just trust me." He stared at her for a moment, then nodded. The moment her hands touched the controls, something inside her woke up, something that had been asleep longer than she had. The weight of the aircraft felt familiar under her fingers, like an old song she once loved. Outside the window, the blue sky stretched endlessly, but Sarah saw the turbulence ahead. Thick clouds rolled like gray waves, and she could already sense the storm's grip tightening around them. "Flight 276 to control, this is Captain Thompson with civilian co-pilot, requesting emergency landing clearance. One engine down. Attempting manual override." Sarah took a deep breath. "Steady pitch, ease on the left rudder." Her voice was calm, precise. The captain followed her lead, trusting her every word. Down below, New York shimmered faintly under the clouds, a reminder of home, of safety. But Sarah wasn't thinking of home. She was thinking of David, her best friend, the co-pilot she had lost. His voice echoed in her memory, "If something happens to me, promise me you'll keep flying." She hadn't kept that promise. Not until now. The alarms screamed as turbulence hit. The plane jolted violently, passengers screamed. Sarah's body moved instinctively, hands on the throttle, eyes locked on the horizon. "Brace! Brace!" the flight attendants shouted down the aisles. Sarah gritted her teeth. "Come on, girl. You're not going down today." The aircraft trembled like it was alive, fighting against gravity itself. The captain glanced at her. "We're losing altitude." "I know," she said sharply, but I'm not losing control. She tilted the flaps, balanced the drag, and fought the pull of the storm like she had fought fear itself years ago. Run diagnostics on hydraulic pressure, she barked. Reading unstable. Then bypass it. Manual only. Minutes felt like hours. But slowly, the plane steadied. The storm passed. The alarms went silent. And for the first time since the mission that destroyed her, Sarah smiled. Prepare for landing, she said softly. They descended through thick fog. Below them lay a runway shimmering in the morning light, emergency vehicles lined up, flashing red and blue like a heartbeat waiting to catch them. The wheels hit the ground. The plane bounced once, twice, then slowed. When the brakes finally screeched to a stop, there was silence. Pure, unbelievable silence. Then, applause. It started small, from row 12, then spread across the cabin like wildfire. People clapped, cried, hugged strangers. The captain looked at Sarah, tears in his eyes. You just saved 218 lives. She stared at her trembling hands, whispering, maybe I just saved myself too. The flight attendants opened the door, and the passengers poured out, many stopping to thank her, to take her hand, to say, you're a hero. But Sarah only smiled and said quietly, just doing what I was trained to do. As she stepped out into the sunlight, she looked up at the sky, calm now, peaceful, and for the first time in 2 years, she didn't see a battlefield. She saw freedom. Hours later, sitting on a bench outside the airport, Sarah's phone buzzed. It was an old message from David, the one she'd never been able to delete. You're stronger than you think, Sarah. Don't let fear ground you. She closed her eyes and smiled through her tears. In the distance, a plane soared overhead, smooth, steady, beautiful. And somewhere inside her, she finally felt weightless. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more emotional and inspiring stories like this. Because sometimes, a single moment in the sky can remind us what it truly means to fly.